4:31 a.m. You're working as hard as we are, whether it's at night or 4:30, but coffee at my place, out getting the cows, 4:31, what do you reckon? You keen?
Deal. Do that. When? When?
When you're ready, mate.
Okay.
Morning, Theo. How are you?
How are you doing?
Good morning.
Okay.
How are
Good
you?
morning.
Come in.
Stuff coming,
out the
mate,
cold.
yeah.
Put your monitor.
How'd you start out, Theo, in your early days in the dairying?
I started in 1986, actually as a management in the factory. So that's almost 30 years now.
Yeah.
So milk in my veins, they say.
Yeah.
As a family, we have been traveling the world for 25 years. My eldest son is born in Indonesia, the second in Saudi Arabia, the third daughter in Peru. But one thing that was always there, that the family was always together. When we decided to really take on the challenge here, we go together or we don't go. Mm-hmm. Right? So all of us went to New Zealand in 2011. Tom, the eldest, is at Auckland Uni. The second has a real hardwired thought to become a farmer.
Yeah.
So he's at Lincoln.
Yeah.
And then our daughter is in Albany, so she's 16.
So, Theo, you're a very busy man. How do you spend your average week?
Oh, Kim, an average week, that's a very difficult question. It's really from meeting government officials to customers to our operations. Now we're here on farm on 431, so over the last 6 weeks I've been visiting, I think, 4 continents. It's kind of 50-50, that I'm 50% somewhere in the world, 50% here, at best, I think. My wife will give you a different number.
Do you take any days off?
To manage your work-life balance, that's sometimes a challenge because it goes 24/7. In the weekends, you normally have a lot of prep work. And then during the week, we use the evening to connect to other parts of the world. So
Why do you do the role? What motivates you?
it's very important that you believe in what you're doing and that you believe in the co-op, you believe in the shareholders, you believe in the direction. For me, it's not importance or status. It's really that firm belief in Fonterra, in the dairy world in general.
So, Theo, what do you think makes a good CEO?
I think with a good CEO, you need to be very clear where the company is going, not only for the employees, but for stakeholders. To run quite a big multinational from 2 islands in the Pacific is not the easiest. So you need to have that global perspective, but you also need to have that grassroots connect with the family. And the family is, for me, it's the farmers and the employees.
Your salary, Theo, it's one of the highest in New Zealand. I suppose how you justify that?
It is, by any standard in New Zealand, these are big numbers. Let's be very frank about that. But having said that, when you put it in perspective of people on a global platform, whether it is sports or whether it is other companies or whether it is artists, and I'm not comparing myself with that. And when you've seen successful New Zealand CEOs who went offshore, make multiples of the numbers we make in New Zealand, that's kind of the perspective. If you want to have the right people for the jobs and doing a good job, we have to look at markets. Because if we don't, it will be very difficult to have the right team to run the global business.
In the time you've been at Fonterra, Theo, what changes have you led?
Craig, it's quite a journey. When I came in, I had this outside-in look on consumer price of milk. Yeah, that's 27% of New Zealand children were without any milk servings till noon, right? Polluting the waterways, yeah, dirty dairying, that terminology really hit me, and so I launched Milk for Schools, I think it was in 6 weeks.
Our daughter loves it at school.
Yeah, and 170,000 New Zealand kids get our milk, your milk, every day, right? And that's a very strong shift and change. 25,000 kilometers of waterway fenced. That's all done by you guys. It's phenomenal, right? From here to London.
It looks good.
The partnership with DOC, 6 catchments around the country. It's not only driving a good strategy, which brings back money to shareholders, also taking care of the country and making a difference in the lives of many people. That's important for me.
Theo, a lot of Kiwis at the moment are trying to work out why we're getting paid so little for our milk. And, as farmers, we're struggling to break even every year at the moment. What's your thoughts around that?
I mean, it is a very tough time out there, let's be very clear. But rest assured that the 24,000 people who work day and night around the world, they're really working very hard to get every dollar back to farmers, but there is an imbalance right now in the world between supply and demand. And we as a cooperative, we export between 92 and 95% into the world, so we're dependent on global prices. And this is cyclical. Yes, prices are at a low level right now, so what we need to do is make sure that the balance sheet of the cooperative is strong, that balance sheet can support farmers. That's what we need to do. Farmers are the owners.
One thing that hurt a lot of local businesses was when we changed our vendor payments recently, and I suppose we got a lot of backlash, and we felt that at farmer level as well every time we'd go to town, and that hurt us as farmers and hurt our local businesses hugely. What's your thought about that, and I suppose going forward?
Yeah, everybody is aware of the noise it created, but if you drive transformation in a very harsh time where every dollar needs to be brought back into the balance sheet. We did a lot of things around the world, hundreds of initiatives. This one in communication with the farmer base, but also potentially with the supplier base in New Zealand. We made some mistakes, and I do apologize for that, because if you're in a low milk price environment like you guys, and you hear around the communities that the co-op is being kicked around, or that the co-op is under pressure, right? That's never a good place to be. So we could have executed better, really, we should have, and we have learned from that example, especially in communication with farmers and with key stakeholders.
So lately Fonterra has been in the news a lot, often for the wrong reasons. How do you feel about that?
We're a big company, big cooperative, big footprint in New Zealand and outside. There will always be people who have an opinion, and it will not always be positive. We have to live with that, and sometimes we should also be able to say, okay, it is what it is, but this is us, and we are proud of it, right? We should be in charge of our story. We should tell the story.
And how are we going to do that?
I think it's very important. 84% of New Zealand did not know that our cooperative is owned by farmers. But now we have to tell our stories on the smartest farmers. We are the purest in dairy. The innovation we drive across, not only in products, but in factories, in logistics. Innovation out of New Zealand is everywhere, right? So we need to tell that story, but we also should tell the story of the global company. We should not shy away from that. I was in China 10 days ago, and the Chinese people really want to know where the milk comes from.
Is that right?
A lot of people still think it comes from a supermarket or from a factory, but it comes from a farm, right? And they would like to see farmers who have passion for their job, who work on sustainability. That's what consumers want to see. But it starts at the kitchen table.
4:31 a.m. on farm.
Yeah, this is where it all starts.
Where would you love to see Fonterra in another 2 years?
For me, it's then continued that journey on a lot of milk to much higher value and innovation, driving value back to farmers in payouts. That's key. But second part is that we want to make you proud. We want to be proud, but New Zealand also needs to be proud of us.
Well, fantastic, Theo. Thanks for coming along today. We've certainly learnt a lot about you, and I hope the rest of the industry has too, the rest of the farmers. And yeah.
It's a real pleasure, and it was really good to chat at 4:31.
Yeah.
Good to have you down on farm.
Promise is a promise, son.
Yeah. Cheers.